Hi guys, today I thought I'd show you a two-way chippy choppy. So this is going to be a quick and easy-ish one with some Druzy. Excuse my fingers because we're going to be using some alcohol ink and I'm trying to avoid getting stained fingers. And I don't have gloves, so I'm just going to use these. How attractive. Anyway, what you're going to need for this is just some translucent clay. So I'm just going to cut some off. Like that. And you're going to need a block for each of the chippy choppies that we're doing. So it's up to you how much you cut off. It depends how big you want to make it. It's a decent chunk for each colourway. Okay, so 2 chunks of trans. This is Premo white translucent. You're also going to need your colour of choice in mica powders. I'm going with these blue colours, and that's going to go with 1 chippy choppy. You'll also need some kind of metal leaf. I'm going to go with silver because, as you know, I use a lot of silver. You'll also need, or this isn't absolutely necessary, this is optional, but I'm just really loving how the embossing powder looks once it's kind of melted into the clay. But you could just use regular glitter, but I've got some silver embossing powder as well. And I've also got some translucent liquid Sculpey. And then for the other chippy choppy block, you're going to be needing some black alcohol ink, some black mica powder, and I probably will use some embossing powder in that as well. And I've got these, I've got a whole box, let me just show you. I've got this whole box of chopped glass. I mean, it's effectively chunky glitter, but they call it chopped glass. And it comes in all these different colours. I love it. And I've picked out 2 colours that I'm going to use today. So I've got the black, and it's like a turquoisey greeny colour. Alright, I will leave a link for those. And then just your standard tools, but I think we'll start with the alcohol ink first because it's going to need time to dry. Alright, so I've also got a piece of card ready to put that on there. So first thing first then, let's take the first block of clay and just cut it up chippy choppy style. I don't want to go too small with the chops, but again, that's up to you. You can go as small as or as big as you want with this. Alright, and then I'm just going to douse this in the black alcohol ink. So make sure it's nicely covered with the ink. Give it a tumble. Make sure all those pieces are nicely coated. And then I'm just going to pop it on this card and let it dry. That's all of it. I'm just going to spread it out a little bit so it dries faster. Alright, so that's the first little bit done. I'm just going to move that out of the way. Get me a wet wipe. And clean up a little bit. And now I can take these horrible things off. I hate them. I'll probably get ink on me even still. Oops. Let me just get rid of these ugly things. And I still got ink on me. Oh well. Right, faffing around. Let me just clean up a little bit. Try and get this off my thumb. I suppose I can deal with that later. So you're going to have to watch me with a black thumb through the video. And I know that really bugs some people, but hey, we're crafters, right? We get dirty fingers. Okay, let me just dry this off and we'll move on to our next block of clay for the next part of the Chippy Choppy. I honestly don't know what else to call this technique. It would help if I used the sharp side. So, you know, Chippy Choppy. Again, fairly big chunks. I don't want to go too small. I mean, obviously there's going to be some smaller pieces in there, but I want some big chunks too. Okay. And I'm just going to separate this in 2 piles. Alright, and in the first pile, I'm just going to go with this darker blue and tap some on. Let me just get my scoopy thing. Just a little scoop, don't need too much. And on the other pile, I'm just going to scoop this other blue colour on, which is lighter. It's actually called cyan, so it's more of a greeny blue. And I'm just going to tap some of that on there too. Like so. I've got my camera at such an awkward angle to try and avoid shadows that I'm having to... It's awkward, let's just say that, it's awkward. It's in an awkward position, but it's the only position I can have it in to avoid shadows being cast across the tile. But it is kind of awkward. Alright, so that's the first of the blue, just mixed up together. The mica powders and the clay together. And I'm going to add a little bit of embossing powder in each one, just because I like it. I like the way, like I say, I like the way it looks. It kind of melts into the clay. And then some silver leaf into each pile. I'm just kind of crumbling it in there. I don't want a great deal, just a little bit. Like so. And then just give that a quick mix. Actually, I think I want a little bit more silver leaf in there. Like that. Do I want to cut this anymore? No, I'm going to leave those big chunks. Let's see what it looks like. And then I'm going to take my liquid sculpey, this is translucent, and just give it a good old squirt on each pile. Actually, at this point, these can just be thrown together, like so. And then just add a little bit more of this. So this is just the standard Chippy Choppy. I wanted this to be a quick and easy tutorial while I kind of work out some other things. I don't like leaving it too long before I do a tute, and I'm still working on a few ideas that I'm not ready to show just yet, so I thought, why not just do a nice blingy, sparkly, glittery Chippy Choppy with a little extra something thrown in. So that's what I'm doing. get all those bits together. Give it a gentle squeeze, try and get it all to stick together. I might have needed a little bit more of the liquid clay, but we'll see. And I just want to reiterate, you do not have to use embossing powder. That's just my choice at this moment in time. You can just go with regular glitter. I just like the look the embossing powder gives once it's kind of done its heaty thing in the oven. Okay, so I've got that together. I'm just going to clean up a little bit again. I honestly don't know why I keep doing this method, because it's so flipping messy. But it's fun, and it always looks good, I think. I don't think I've ever made a chippy choppy that doesn't look good, because it's kind of, I don't know, it's just an easy technique, I guess. So now I've got embossing powder all over me. And I'm just going to bring over my chopped up black pieces and just give it a little bit of a push around on the card, just to try and get the rest of it dry before we move on. So I'm just kind of turning it over, trying to let the air get to it a little bit. And don't worry if it clumps together, that will get resolved. So I'm just going to leave that for a little bit longer. Okay, let's work on this. Oh, I forgot to say you need a backing as well. I always forget my backing. You're going to need some more clay for a backing. I'm just going to cut off another chunk for that. Should be enough. So I need to roll that out to make a backing. But anyway, let's get back to this. Just want to make sure it's all stuck together nicely. See, I don't think I put in enough liquid clay, so I'm going to have to work with it a little bit just to warm it up. It's kind of difficult to gauge how much you need. Sometimes you can put too much in, then it's like a bit too squidgy. This occasion I didn't quite put enough in, but I'm not going to panic. It's all going to get squashed and rolled together. Just need to work with it for a little bit longer, just to warm the clay up a little bit. Okay. So that's the first block, and I'm just going to go off camera to roll out my backing, and I'll be back. Alright guys, excuse me, this is dried, the black alcohol ink is dried on the translucent clay, and I've rolled out a backing sheet, and I've rolled this onto number 3 on my pasta machine. It's the fourth thickest setting. I can speak. So yeah, it's not that thick, because obviously we're going to layer it over with these, so I don't want to make it too thick, so I usually roll down to a number 3 on mine. My machine is an Atlas 150, just for reference. So we've got these, but they're kind of clumped together, so I'm just going to get some of the black mica powder. Actually, this isn't black, I think it's silver. Oh well. Hey ho! It looked black, but now I've tipped it out, it looks more like a charcoaly colour actually. But it doesn't matter. It's just to separate the pieces. I actually do think I have got some black somewhere, but I grabbed that one by mistake. not to worry. So let's just say it's silver mica powder, but you could use whatever you wish. So I think I need a little bit more. Just going to add a touch more. So just want to try and get these separated a little bit, and I think I am going to chop into this some more, just a little bit, just to break up some of those pieces. And then give it another tumble. Like so. Okay, so when you've done that, I don't know what colour that is. I don't know if it is silver. It doesn't actually say on the thing. I don't know if that's silver or... I don't know what it is. It almost looks like a charcoaly colour. Anyway, silver, black, charcoal, whatever colour you want to put in there, that's fine. And again, I'm going to get my embossing powder if I can see where I put it, and I'm just going to sprinkle some of that in there. Just a little bit. I just like the blinginess of it. And same thing again, some silver leaf. I'm just going to crumble some of that in there as well. Just give it a quick mix just to see if I need any more. Maybe just a little bit more. Again, just give it a quick mix. Okay, and then same thing as before, the liquid Sculpey translucent. I don't know why this is so hard to pour out, because it's not even close to being empty, and I'm just going to make sure I've got enough liquid clay in this one this time. And then, same as usual, mix it all together and form it into a block like I did on the first block. So I'm going to go off camera and do that. You don't need to see me form it into a block again, and I'll be back. I've formed this into a block now, so that's ready to go, and I've made it roughly the same length as the blue block. Okay, so now it's just a case of cutting some nice slices off. Try and get them as equal as you can, but this is going to be rolled. I don't normally put my Chippy Choppy through the pasta machine because I don't like it getting too stretched, but on this occasion I am going to have to, because we need them to be the exact same thickness. So there's the blue. Let's do the black. That one went a bit thin, but never mind. And I'm just going to piece them all together in a row like this, and just give them a little press so they're stuck together. Because we want to make sure they're stuck together before we put them through the pasta machine. So I'm just going to go on the other side as well, just to be sure. So that's the first one, and I'm going to do the same with the blue, just piece it all together. Like so. And I am just going to give it a quick roll, because it's now got to go through the pasta machine and I don't want it to be too thick, and that way it kind of helps stick it together more as well. So I'm just going to give this other one a quick roll as well. Okay, so I'm going to pass both of these through on a number 1, which is my second thickest setting. Actually, I'm going to go on 0 first just to be safe. So I've rolled it one way and I'm going to turn it and roll it this way onto a number 1. Okay, so that's the first one. Same thing, I'm going to roll this on a 0, one way, turn it and roll it onto a number 1 the other way. Oops, and that's separated a little bit, broke off. It happens. This little bit came off as well. So I'm just going to mush it back together. Right, so let's just move this out of the way and pick this up. See, this bit came off. But this chippy choppy technique is so forgiving, so don't panic if that happens. Just mush it all back together again. Okay, so we've got our 2 little chippy choppy veneers. I'm just going to get my backing clay, try and get a little bit organised. Like I say, my camera is at such a weird angle, it's kind of awkward. So I'm just going to get this first veneer, move that out of the way again, and I'm just going to take a piece away on either side because we need straight lines for this bit. So I'm going to take about this much off, and there's going to be all this left over, so it won't go to waste, but we just need a strip of it for now. And I'm going to place it on my backing clay like so. Move that back out of the way, bring over my other one, and I'm going to do the same thing, cut some away on either end. Should be good, we'll see. And I'm going to take it and put it on my backing clay in the same way, but I'm going to leave a gap. Like so. I think I need to make the gap bigger to accommodate my cutters, but I don't really want that big of a gap. Oh well. Never mind, I screwed up, guys. I need to get a different cutter. I should have cut more. I should have cut them thicker. I wasn't thinking. Not to worry, I'll just use a different cutter, but that's all you do, is you place that on there and try and get those edges nice and straight. So you've got this channel here. I'm sad about that. I really wanted to use this one. I know what I could do. I could just take it there and cut it. I'm just thinking out loud, guys. But yeah, make sure you place them so you're going to accommodate your particular cutter that you want to use, which I did not do, because sometimes I do not think. I don't know if I want one quite that big. Do you know what? I'm just going to go with this one, and I'm just going to... Do you know what? I don't know. Maybe do it at an angle. That might look kind of cool, actually, doing it at an angle. But then I'm going to waste quite a bit of this. problem solving. Let me think, will this one work? Okay, this one will work. I'm going to go with this one, I think. Oh, I'm so sad that I can't use that other one. Actually, I'm going to go with this one and do it at a little bit of an angle, so I get some of the blue and the black, and then I've still got some of this left. Okay, that's that solved. Panic over. Oh, before I do that, let me just give this a quick burnish. We want to make sure those strips are nicely stuck onto the backing clay. Oh, that's good. Okay, so I'm just going to take my cutter, and I'm going to have to do it at an angle to fit it all on. Where's my block gone? Oh, it's right in front of me. Okay, I'm just going to cut my piece out. Give it a good wiggly woo in a little rubbity rub, just to make sure it's cut all the way through. Okay, and then I'm just going to lift the rest of it away. Now there's enough here to make another pendant, but let's just work on this one for a second. And I'm going to put it on this clay, on this card. Why do I always call card clay? Oh dear. Alright, so that's one piece ready to move on to the next stage, and I'm just going to get this other bit. You've still got some translucent left. Well, I do have some translucent left, which will not go to waste, and I've still got all these bits that I can play with as well to make some more, but I'm just going to do these two on camera. So I'm just going to find another. Oh my gosh, my desk is such a mess. I think I'm going to have to do a bit of a clean and a reorganise, because I'm having a hard time finding anything, including the cutter that I want. Do you know what? Let's just go with a round one. No, I'm not going to go with a round one. Give me a second, guys. There we go. I'm going to go with this one, and again I'm going to do it at a bit of an angle so I can fit it all on. I don't know why I didn't think about that before I cut the strips. I'm just going to straighten this off a little bit. Okay, so same thing. I'm going to go at an angle like this and cut through. Just get rid of that. And I've got all those bits that I can play with, so you know, I've got these and I can just easily put them back together to make another veneer, and the same with the black pieces as well. So you can make probably another 2 or even 3 pendants from that. Alright, so let me just give this a little smooth before I lift it. There's the other one, and again I'm just going to put it on this card ready to go. Alright, so there's the 2 pendants for today. I didn't want to do them at an angle, I wanted them straight across, but hey ho, they still look good. Makes them look a little bit different, I guess. Now the next thing you need to do is get your liquid Sculpey, and you're just going to fill those channels up. Make sure it's translucent as well. It wouldn't look very good if it was white or something. Just fill those channels up with a little squirt of your liquid clay, and then just kind of smush it around in there. Just make sure it's all covered with that liquid clay. like so. This one. I think I need to put a little bit more in that one. Just give it a smush. Alright, and then I'm going to take my little crushed glass chips and I'm going to tip them, not too many because I don't want to have to wrestle putting them back in the bag. That should be enough. And these greeny coloured ones. I don't know whether to go with these or blue. I don't know if they would. Yeah, let's try these. They might stand out a little bit more than the blue ones. So I'm just going to do a mixture of green and black crushed glass. And all I'm going to do is just pick them up and place them in those channels. And I am mixing them black and green. This is why you need to use the translucent liquid clay, because that's going to dry clear. Obviously you don't want some funky colour to show through, unless you do want some funky colour to show through. I personally do not. And this is a little bit time consuming, guys, but that's all I'm doing. And I'm just going in there and dropping those pieces in, and I'm going to try and fill all the little gaps with these crushed pieces of glass. So I'm going to go off camera to do the rest, and I'll be back to show you. Okay, so I filled these little channels up with the crushed glass, and I'm just going to gently, actually, let me see if I've got any card anywhere. No, I don't. So I'm just gently going to press down with my finger just to make sure they're kind of stuck in there. You might get a few loose ones after it's baked, but this is going to be resined, so these pieces will be held in place once they're resined. But I'm just trying to make sure they're nicely embedded in there. Okay, and I'm just going to give them a quick clean. Just make sure there's no fingerprints anywhere. My edge is nice and smooth. Plus there's a little bit of pink something on this. I'm not sure where that came from. Try and get rid of that. Okay, so I'm going to go and bake these, and I'll be back to show you. Okay guys, I'm back, and I baked them, I sanded the edges and I resined them. I haven't done anything to the backs on these yet, and I hope you can see because there is quite a glare with the resin on these, but obviously you'll see better in the pictures that I post. So there's that one, and this is the one that I did, the other one that I did on camera as well. Okay, like I say, I haven't finished them, I haven't put anything on the back. With the scraps that I had, I made this one as well, and I just did the strips go in a different way, so you can kind of play around how you lay your strips and whatnot. Okay, so there's those, and I also made some purple ones, and I did this one, I did the black the same, but then I just did the the top part in purples instead of blue, and I have resined and glittered the back of that one, so that's what it would look like if I had done it on those. And just another one that I did with a heart shape, and again resined and glittered on the back. Haven't finished that one either. I'm terrible for making stuff and actually not, you know, adding the pinch bails, etc. So there's those. And then this one, this might not be everyone's taste, but it's my taste, and I made like a really big pendant because I really like the big pendants, and it's kind of an irregular oval shape, and I have added a pinch bail and cord to that one, and again that one's resined and glittered on the back. I do have a tutorial that shows you how I resin and glitter the backs of my pendants, as well as the sanding process that I do, so I will leave a link to that in the description. The description is next to the title of the video. There's a little down arrow, click on that and you'll see all the info that I put in there. Alright guys, so here are the pieces from today. I know there's quite a bit of glare on them because of the resin, but hopefully you'll see better in the thumbnail. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later. Bye.